Cool. So
And
thank you. Yeah, thank you, Lizy, for setting all this up. We've got a huge group of alumni from a lot of places, from East Coast to West Coast, North to South. It's super fantastic. I'm just going to be the band director and actually be quiet this time and let you guys kind of run the discussion. And those of you that are currently in high school, think about some questions you might have for these folks, because there are a lot of different college experiences in this group. There's some SEC, there's other conferences, big schools, little schools. So there's a lot of information for you available to these folks who went through the same hallways as you did when they were in high school. So Lizy, I'm going to turn it over to you.
okay, well, so I made a little presentation so we can touch on some things, and then at the end we'll have questions. But if you have any like really pressing questions, you can just like ask them, or I don't know. Yeah. So, oh, Mr. Long, you have to, I can't
Oh,
share
you're
my
trying to share?
screen.
Sorry.
Yes.
All right, try it now.
Okay. Oh, good. All right. Oops. Let's get into it. Okay, sorry I put a saxophone. It's okay.
Come on, you had an opportunity to pick a flute.
I know, and I didn't. Okay. So this is marching band in college and why you should do it and things you should know about it. And this whole project was organized by me, but on behalf of the Kappa Kappa Psi chapter at UGA. And we have special guests featuring Etowah alumni. So we're going to introduce ourselves. I'll start. My name is Lizy Hoepfinger. I am the Etowah High School class of 2018. I play the flute, but in college I march the piccolo, and I am a cognitive science major with a minor in music and maybe computer science, and I go to UGA. So who wants to go next? Allie, why don't you?
Oh,
Kieran.
no,
Kieran,
I was gonna go. I'm Kieran. I graduated from Etowah last year. I marched Georgia Tech's marching band, alto sax, computer science major, second year now.
I'm Jacob. I graduated in 2019, this last year, and I marched at KSU trumpet, and it's my second year. I'm a biology major.
I'm Brooke. I go to Georgia Tech. I graduated from Etowah in 2018. I marched trombone at Georgia Tech, and I'm majoring in electrical engineering.
Hi, I'm
Julia.
So sorry. Hi, I'm Julia. I graduated class of 2019. I am part of the Mighty Sound of the Southeast at South Carolina, and I march piccolo, but I do play flute, and I am going into my sophomore year of being a pharmacy major.
I'm Cessna. I graduated Etowah in 2018. I play clarinet. I march clarinet at University of Kentucky, where in the fall I'll be a junior, and I'm an agricultural and medical biotechnology major.
I'm Allie. I graduated Etowah, class of 2019. I'm a member of the Sound of Downtown Georgia State Marching Panther Band. I march tenor saxophone, and I am a film major.
All right. My name is Kara. I graduated Etowah in 2018. I played trumpet at Kennesaw State University, and I am a senior studying software engineering and computer science.
I'm Caitlin. I graduated Etowah class of 2019, and I play flute and march piccolo for the Marching Owls. I'm going to be a junior in the fall and majoring in international business and French.
I'm Jimmy. I graduated Etowah in 2018, and I'm at Kennesaw. I march saxophone, and I'm going to my third year as a jazz studies major.
Hey guys, I'm Calvin. My camera's not working for some reason. I graduated 2018. I'm a sax player with the Marching Mountaineers at Appalachian State. I'll be a senior in the fall, and my major is building sciences with a concentration in sustainable building systems.
Me? I don't know if you can hear me. Yes? Okay. My name's Adia. I graduated 2018. I go to San Diego State University. I march alto. I'm bio major pre-med with a minor in Spanish.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Is that everyone?
That's everybody.
I think so.
Jacob, you here? I don't know. Did we hear from Jacob? Bless you again.
Thank you.
Did Jacob go?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
went right
Yeah.
up.
I won.
Okay.
Wait, Brooke, you went, right?
Yes, she did.
Okay. Okay. All right. Moving on. Oh my gosh, sorry. Oh, there you go. Okay. What is college band like? Okay, first step. I'm going to go off of my experience and then we'll talk about everyone else's experience. So for me at UGA and the Red Coat Band, the cost is about $100 a year, and that's whether you're returning or not, new marcher. And that covers everything pretty much. I mean, if you have to buy shoes, then you pay for that. But besides that, that covers all the traveling that we do because we mostly travel with the football team. So the athletic association pays for that, not us. That's nice. Game day is really fun. It's a really long day. We meet starting 6 hours before the game starts. And we have a rehearsal, and then we do these little game day traditions after that at the stadium. And then we have the game. The practice schedule for Redcoats is Tuesday, Thursday, every week from 5:30 to 7:30. And if we have a game on Saturday, then we'll also practice on Friday from 5:30 to 7:30. And then we also have the rehearsal before the games. Personally, time management isn't that bad if you can just know how to manage your time. And in fact, it's better for me when I have marching band, kind of like in high school, because like you have to do it. You can't just like put it off like all your assignments. And is it fun? Well, of course it's fun. I love it. Let's hear from our KSU folks.
I can do it. I already have a spiel, so get ready. So for KSU, the Marching Owls Marching Band, our costs are going to be $320 every year. That's whether you're new or returning, but that does include all of your apparel. You get new polos, t-shirts, hats, beanies, shoes, and everything every year. And then that also includes like dry cleaning your uniform after every game. And then if we do travel, we don't travel a ton because we are a newer band. But if we do travel, usually the Athletic Association will pay for that. It does also include food for every game day. On game day, like UGA, we come in 5 to 6 hours before the game. We have a 2-hour practice. And then we have some of our traditions like Owl Walk and pregame that we'll do before the game starts. Once we get there, we stay for the whole game. We have a lot of stance tunes that we play throughout the game, as well as we do learn a new show for every game, so it is pretty fast paced. Our practice schedule is again very similar to UGA. We practice Tuesdays and Thursdays 5 to 7, and then if we have a game on Saturday, we'll practice on Friday 5 to 7 as well. Time management, same kind of situation. It's definitely, I like it because I have a time and a place. If I get to band early, I'm able to sit and work on my homework, and I have friends there who can keep me company, or they may have taken these same classes as me so they can help me. And is it fun? Of course it is.
Okay, Calvin, do you want to go?
Sure. Appalachian's a little bit smaller than Kennesaw and UGA. So our cost, we've been moving a lot. Our program's been changing, so our costs are anywhere from no band dues to about 200, 250. Game days, the marching band, we get there 5, 6 hours early, just like everyone else. We have our practice. Our marching band has a tradition where we go around the whole town of Boone and we play for tailgaters and stuff. So it's always a lot of fun. our practice schedule, we like to run ours our practices Tuesdays and Thursdays from noon to about 2. So they're in our class schedule, so everyone can base their day around band. Time management, I feel like it's not as big a commitment as it was in high school, but we still have a lot of fun. We do all kinds of shows and stuff. I think that's all the dots. Yeah.
Cool. Georgia Tech. Who wants to go for Tech?
I can go. So for cost, I made Kieran look this up beforehand because I forgot, but it's like $275. We think. You pay your first year. It's a one-time fee, covers all your apparel, all traveling and whatnot. For game day, Georgia Tech, I must say, is pretty relaxed. You get there like about like 2-ish hours before the game if it's a home game. We marched into the stadium. They feed you like during the game. We have like usually like one central show like for the year, and then like we'll add like movements and whatnot throughout the season. For our practice schedule, we practice Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 4 to 6. And if we have an away game that weekend, then we don't practice on Friday. For time management, it definitely can like get hectic, like as the season goes on. But they definitely I feel like for Georgia Tech, they really do work with you. Like if you can't make it to a practice or if you're gonna be late, like they will like work with you for your schedule to make sure like you can do band and whatnot. And it's really fun. As I said, it is like really relaxed or I really have a good time. So yeah, I like it.
Cessna, you want to go for Kentucky?
Yeah. So at UK, for a new marcher, it'll be $150, and for returning, it's $50. And that covers, you get a white t-shirt and a blue t-shirt, and then you have your warm-ups and all of the travel. And if you're a returner, so if you're a sophomore, you get $250 on top of that. And then if you're a junior, you get $300, and a senior gets $350 just extra. And then for our travel, you get $50 per day. That's overnight of travel on a credit card. And so I think you get your money back. And you also can do pep band. You have to do marching band to do pep band. And if you audition for the blue and white band, you get $500 per semester of being in that. So you can make a lot of money by being in the UK band. And for game days, we arrive 5 hours before the game starts, and we have rehearsal. And then we go to BCTC, which is the community college on campus, and hang out there, and they feed us lunch. And then we do catwalk, and then we have 3 drum majors, and so we have 3 little blue-white bands, and they go around and play for tailgaters. And then we come back to BCTC and then march into the stadium. And our practice schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 5:30 to 7:30, and then the Saturday rehearsal in the morning. And for time management, I would say I don't think it's that big of a commitment as compared to high school. So like this last marching band season, I was a TA, an education abroad peer advisor, and on top of all my classes, doing marching band and pep band. So I think you can really manage your time efficiently, especially with doing marching band. I think it helps you show, okay, I have to allot this time for this. And is it fun? Yes, I love it.
Okay. Julia, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So at South Carolina, I had to look up the cost just now. I had to pay $150 for my freshman year, but we pretty much just got it right back because if you're in state, you get like $400 back. And then if you're out of state, you can get down to in-state tuition, which is pretty stupid awesome. Game day. Oh, I should probably go over what the covers. I'm sorry. For like all the stuff that we pay for, we get our uniforms washed after every single game because we are indeed very nasty and it is very hot in South Carolina. It goes towards food for band camp and for before the games and during the games because we get Firehouse during the games during third quarter. And it also covers I'm pretty sure it covers like our dry fit shirts, our backpacks, hats for the games. Yeah, game day is so much fun. We do meet 6 hours before, so it sucks, but it's so much fun once you get in there and get into a noon game and it's over. I'm but we do practice 6 hours before. We have that morning practice or afternoon practice depending on when the game is. Then we have a break for us to get ready for the game, get ready to get onto the charter buses, because our football stadium is a bit away from our campus. And we eat during that time as well, thank goodness, because we are starving after practice. Once we get to the stadium, whether or not you signed up for a pep band or not, you go off to the different sections where the pep bands are, and then we all meet up near the president's tailgate. We play a couple songs that are like in our show for that week, and then we just we get in line, get ready to march into the stadium, and it's all good. Our practice schedule, we practice, and I just had to put it onto my schedule because it is a class. We practice Tuesday through Friday from, I'm pretty sure, 5 to 6:30. I'll have to double check that, but I'm almost positive it is 5 to 6:30. Unless we don't have a game that Saturday, then we usually do not practice that Friday, but most of the time we do have that Friday. And it's nice. We are able to go in early if we have time because we have that big band hall, and we're able to sit there. It is so nice, so big. We have lockers set up for like if we rented an instrument or if we have our instruments, and it's super nice. Time management, like I said, we've got that area right there, but also you learn how to manage your skills so much better once you get into college, because you have more gaps within the day to figure out, I need to do this, I need to do this. And it's not like a full 8-hour day like it was back in high school. Like most of my days, I think this upcoming semester are ending at 6:30, which is super nice. And I think, is it fun? Of course it is. I've met so many friends there, like being out of state, it was scary, but I've made so many friends in the piccolo section and I love it so much. So it is super fun.
All right, Adia, are you there?
Yeah.
Do you want to? Yep.
Yeah, sure. So for me, since I kind of forgot what I was going to say. So at state band, they consider it more of a class. You register it as you take it. It just goes onto your tuition. So it's 4 to 6:30 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, unless coach is generous and cancels it for us. For every game that we have to do a pre-tradition walk. So we walk around the whole stadium and we play for everybody. And there's usually a carnival going on in the front. They have rides for the kids. So we play for the kids. And then it is free. You don't have to pay like a fee to join. And at the end, as long as you pass, they actually pay you. They give out a stipend to everyone that joined band. That's usually about $250, $300. And then you can join pep band. You have priority over people who are not in marching band. You don't have to be in marching band though to be in the pep band. And so we usually it's usually about 2 to 3 shows a year, and you kind of rotate them depending on what the occasion is. We do have high school band night, kind of like we had middle school band night at Etowah. We have that there. We got new uniforms just 2 years ago, so they're really nice and fancy and not gross. You can, rent your instrument if you don't have one. They like when you try different ones because sometimes we don't have enough. I don't know, I have fun. SDSU is actually a really big school, and we have one of the biggest social presence in California. So all of our games are usually really fun, and everyone supports the band. They use us for parades and everything in addition to it as well. I really like it. Since it's so far away, I made a lot of friends. It was easier to adjust when I moved by being in band.
Great. Okay, Allie, last but not least.
So like I said, I'm at Georgia State University. Per year, they've changed the band dues a little bit. So it's $100 per year, excluding any extra costs that have to come with trips. Game days are pretty basic. We usually arrive about 6 hours before, so usually at like 11 something. Practice for a few hours, take like a 2-hour break to just hang out with the band and mingle with the other sections. And then we do this thing called Panther Walk, which is like a pep tunnel of band people that we let the football team go through, and it's out in the general courtyard of Turner Field. So we just play some music and hype up the team before they go in. Then they bring some catered food from this local place called Skips. So it's like fresh burgers and hot dogs. They do feed us. Get in the stands, about 3 hours for the game in total. And then once you play the last song at the game, you're done. You just get to walk out. So your time is what you make of it. Practice, like what Adia and Julia were saying, it's a class you have to register for, and you do get credit for it. That class usually goes from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock on Wednesdays and Fridays. So it's not too bad, and there's no additional practices that really come out of that, except for the stuff we do for game days on Saturdays. So it's not too hard to manage your time for that. It's encouraged that you practice outside of practice, but as long as you really put the work in during the summer and when you're at practice in your sectionals and during your marching time, you shouldn't have to do too much work outside of class. So it's really easy on the workload, but it's still a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I've got to make a lot of good experiences and meet a lot of people. You really get to mingle with the entire band, not just your section. So it really does feel like a band family. I highly recommend.
Great. Okay. I just have some things to add about game day for like the UGA Redcoat Band. So we do meet 6 hours before, and we have like a 2-hour rehearsal. But when you first get there before the rehearsal, they have Chick-fil-A. So if it's like breakfast time, you'll get biscuits. And then after rehearsal, we walk a little bit to get on the school buses that take us to the stadium from our practice field because it's a little far away. And you get off, we hang out in the student center for a couple hours just to kill time. And then we do the dog walk, which is where we make a tunnel basically, and the football players get off their coach buses and walk through the tunnel and walk into the stadium. And a ton of people go and they scream and they video around you, and it's just like it's like the epitome of the game day. And then after that, we go into the stadium and wait for the game to start, and we'll do a pregame show, and then we'll do a halftime show, and we learn about 3 or 4 halftime shows plus like a military appreciation show, and it was really fun. So I just needed to add that. The next thing we're going to talk about is Kappa Kappa Psi, which is the reason that I wanted to give this presentation. So there are about, as far as I know, there are 3 college band like music fraternities. Kappa Kappa Psi, which is co-ed, SAI, which is just girls. Actually, there are 4. SAI, which is girls, Phi Mu Alpha, which is boys, and then Tau Beta Sigma. I don't know much about Tau Beta Sigma, but I know it was originally just girls. I don't know if it still is.
It's co-ed.
It's co-ed now.
It's co-ed. Okay. But Kappa Kappa Psi is the one that I'm in, and the one that Jimmy, Cessna, and Caitlin are in also. And they're at a bunch of different schools. So Kappa Kappa Psi is an honorary band fraternity, and it was made to develop leadership, musicianship, and brotherhood through service to college and university band programs. So we do a lot of service projects that help the band. And at UGA, we do uniform returns and uniform handing out, I guess you would call it. And we make goodie bags for our Florida trip, and we do other little things throughout the year to help the band out. And brotherhood is on there because at Kappa Kappa Psi, you are a brother. There are no sisters, just brothers, but you can be a girl or a boy. And it's a great way to make friends. It's a smaller group, and it's people that aren't necessarily like in your section. They're people that you probably wouldn't hang out with, and then you get to see them and make friends. It's really nice. Does anybody else have another thing to add?
Sure. I think Kappa Kappa Psi is a good way to get more involved with your band. I think it gives you an opportunity to talk to people. So I've talked to people in Kappa Kappa Psi that I wouldn't have necessarily come into contact with. And I think a lot of your friends, will, potentially be in Kappa Kappa Psi, and like lifelong friends that you'll always have. And it's just such a good brotherhood. And I think that it's a good way to really make a connection, because the band will give you a good sense of family, especially I'm 7 hours away from, my home. And so I didn't know anybody here. And so the band gave me a sense of, oh, wow, I can do this. But Kappa Kappa Psi gives you, brothers. It gives you a family and just a good sense of belonging at your university.
Yeah. I also want to add that in my chapter, we do have 2 color guard members, so it's not exclusively instrumentalists, it's also color guard. And there are requirements, like for us, you have to do, like take a band class each semester, and in the fall, like marching band counts, but in the spring, we have you can do winter guard, or you can do like a African drumming ensemble or something to cover that. But I also, wait, is that it? Yeah. So it's pretty nice, pretty fun, great way to get involved. Anything else? Okay. The last thing is
Lizy,
why
I
you
was
should
trying to find, sorry, I was trying to find my unmute button.
Oh.
So that exists on a campus, right? How does
Yes.
somebody get involved? Are people going to come out at a rehearsal and say, hey, if you're interested in this, come see us? How does somebody going to get involved in one of these fraternities or groups at their campus?
So I think it probably varies from school to school, but for UGA, at band camp, there's mixers for all of the fraternities. So we have 3, and there's like a tri-frat mixer, and it's like a cookout before practice, and you go and you just talk to members of each one. They're also advertised in the School of Music and on Facebook. So but you pretty much find out about each one from people in band already, or people in your section. They're pretty good about going like, hey, you should come to this. And for each one, as far as I know, there is a recruitment period. So they have like 5 or 6 mixers, and you just show up, and it's like bowling or game night or something pretty fun and chill, and you just show up so you can hang out with them. And then after the period is over, they'll extend a bid to you most of the time.
Yeah, SDSU is kind of like that too, because they have like the weekly rushing for the regular sororities, and then afterwards they reserve it for like sports and music. They kind of just go up at the end of practice. We have announcements, and they're just like, please come to our, our rush, come to our party. And like Lizy said, they have like, get-togethers. We have a bowling alley on campus that you get like free stuff with. You get free shoes and everything. So a lot of times they rent that out if you want to do it. Just things like that.
Yeah, and I will say that Kappa Kappa Psi is dry, which means that at all of the events there's no alcohol or anything. So it's not like it's good in that way where like you don't have an extra pressure, because college can get like that sometimes. Not just a disclaimer, but I like that. Anything
Our
else?
KSI chapter had like a Cocoa and Cocoa, where we drink hot chocolate and watch Cocoa. And because they start in August, they have an info session, and then they'll have a bunch of events. And we don't get a bid until March. So March is when you get your bid, and then you start the Road to Wisdom, which is like educating you on the fraternity if you want to continue and join and be a brother. And then in April, you'll finish and be inducted into the fraternity. So you have lots of opportunities to go to many events, and you go to events to show like, hey, I'm interested, and like show your face around, and then they'll give you a bid in March. So
We do 2 rounds of bids. So we'll have like a fall round. I didn't know that it was different other places, but we have like a fall round where we have like a week of like recruitment, and then the next week you'll get your bid, and then that starts the Road to Wisdom in the fall, and then the same thing happens again in the spring. But
yeah, we have interest week at the beginning of every semester, and then bid night, where you show up and show that you're interested. And then you can start your road to wisdom after that.
Yeah, it's really fun. Does anybody have any like specific KK side questions? Okay. Oh no. Ooh, okay. This is like the final slide kind of what we're presenting, but this is why you should do band in college. These are my reasons. It is a great way to make friends. I mean, you think going into high school is kind of weird, like going into college is crazy because there's so many people and they're most of the time like you don't know them and they're not from where you're from. So coming into like a band program is kind of just like coming into a band program in high school where you're like, I actually have a home. And that's how it feels in college too. You make a ton of friends, you just meet a lot of people, you have people around campus that you see them, they'll help you, and it's really nice that way. It's also a lot different from high school in my opinion because for me at least going from Etowah band, which was like, I'm guessing like I'm estimating 120 people to Redcoats, that's like 400 people in a band. It's like complete culture shock pretty much, or like what the heck, this is huge, like how do I even how am I even important and all this stuff. But you like figure that out and you find your way and you meet all these people and it's just really cool and it's fun. Does anybody want to add a reason?
One thing that I really liked about being in college band that they explained, the reason why they explained this to us was actually because people were complaining because they couldn't sit down. Just like at high school band, you can't sit during games. But apparently it wasn't like that for everybody who was in our band. So some people were upset that they couldn't sit down. And the way that the band director, he was a little upset, but the way that he explained it to us was, he said, this isn't like high school marching band where you paid a lot of money and you get to do as you do in high school marching band. We're paying you to be here because you get a stipend of $500 when you're in the Panther band. You're an adult, you chose to be here, your parents didn't sign you up for this. You're not here just so you can do the things on high school. Like, you are being paid to be here and you're an adult to be here. So the way that you act should be different. And honestly, it's very much like that. The people who are there really, really want to be there. It's not just people who are there because they're just in band. No, that's not a jab or anything, but the experience is different because of how people are already behaving and the fact that you're not in high school anymore. You are an adult, you are in college. It's different. Like, one of the most interesting ways that I found to meet people when I was in band is finding out who has a car on campus or not and trying to get rides from everybody else, because Georgia State is in downtown Atlanta, so you have to drive everywhere. You can't just walk around on campus. But it's just a different culture in general, but it's a good different. It is a good culture shift.
Something that I was going to say, another reason why you should do band in college, definitely look at what scholarships you can get through the band program. I know South Carolina, like I said earlier, they try to get you in the band because they want you to be there. So they will work with you and do whatever they can to help you make sure it's on your schedule, make sure you can come. And it's so awesome how they work with you. And honestly, like, if I didn't have my academic scholarship, I would be using the band scholarship to be there because tuition rates. So it's awesome.
Julia, you said too, you mentioned briefly that you're going out of state, and when you go to school out of state, you end up paying out of state tuition. But a number of places, if you're in the band, one way they will scholarship you sometimes is to waive your out of state tuition, which could be a few $1,000s. I know you're able to take advantage of that, which is a big help in that. But that's something to think about too, for a high school student looking at maybe you like the state of Georgia, maybe you just want to change the scenery and go somewhere else, or maybe a program, like you were looking for pharmaceutical programs that were good. And so that kind of broadened your scope a little bit. And so you may end up needing to look out of state, and that may be a way to waive some of those out of state fees that you might see otherwise. So just kind of that food for thought that was mentioned briefly, just to make sure that we reiterate that again. And that may not show up as a scholarship but it's still going to save you money in the long run.
Yeah, so definitely make sure you like look for all of that kind of stuff, because you never know, maybe the band is like, hey, make sure you note this so we can give you a scholarship, and it's like, might do that. Definitely look out of state. Out of state is awesome. I love South Carolina. Go Cox. Thought I'd try to get there at least once. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to add. I'm gonna mute myself again.
Yeah, leaving Georgia is definitely an experience. I'm up here in North Carolina at App State. I knew 0 people up here. The one person that went to Etowah, that went to App State, graduated the semester before I got up here, so I didn't know anyone. Showed up to the first day of band camp, ended up making my best friends. I live with saxophone players all now. You'll make friends. That's what I was terrified coming into school, but knowing that your band is going to be there, you're always going to have people to take care of you and that are going to make your college experience much better. And it's a lot easier to find band friends. We're all just a little bit weird, and we're all a little bit weird in the same way.
I also think college band gives you opportunities to do things that you wouldn't normally get to do. Like, I think I've lived with the girl that I met when I moved in my first day. I lived with her again this past year, as well as 2 other people that weren't in the band. And me and the girl I lived with that was in the band had such school spirit and just kind of, knew all the players on the football team and on the basketball team and the volleyball team. Like, you get opportunities to go. And I went to the Citrus Bowl my freshman year, and we went to the Belk Bowl, and it gives you such good opportunities to, travel places and meet people you wouldn't normally meet. And like, Rupp Arena is a big deal at Kentucky. Basketball is
huge.
a big deal. So you get to go to a Rupp Arena game where tickets are $1,000. So you get to go for free, and you get to stand there on the court, and it's an incredible opportunity, I think, and it just gives me such great pride to, for the school. And my band director says, you're representing the state of Kentucky, because it's just University of Kentucky. And my band director went to University of Kentucky, was in the band, met his wife in the band, proposed to her at the Peach Bowl, and that, he works there now. So there's so much pride in being in a college band, and just so many opportunities that you can, take advantage of.
That's a really great point. Like, you look at any of the schools that y'all go to, you get some really awesome matchups during the season that people can't even get a ticket to. Meanwhile, you're on the field, you're in the thick of it, you're the center of attention, you're creating that atmosphere for everybody that's either sitting at home on a couch because they can't get there, or they've been, standing outside in the heat for hours upon hours, and you're there in the middle of it. And because you're part of the band, you're not having to pay that $1,000 ticket to get into that stadium. And basketball season in Kentucky is unreal. Like, you think about crazy stuff at UGA for game days in South Carolina, other big schools down here in the South. Rupp Arena during basketball season is unreal. And then you part of the pep band, you're right there in the middle of everything. That's a really awesome point to bring up.
Yeah, even if you're not at a giant basketball powerhouse like Cessna is, definitely do basketball band. In North Carolina, if you're good at basketball, you don't come to App State. You go one of the big 3 schools like NC State, UNC, but you still get great experiences from doing basketball band in college. Like ours, we got to play at a Hurricanes hockey game. We're the only band to do that in 40 years. So definitely don't stick just with marching band. When you come in, start with marching band and expand, and you'll do all kinds of things in college.
Yeah, definitely with expanding. I did basketball band the last season, and they paid me $25 a game to just show up, eat pizza, and then play for like 2 hours. And that was pretty cool. It was pretty nice. So, and it's just really nice to like do band, but like also have it be different than marching band, and then get to be a part of like the history of your school.
Yeah, I liked it too when I did it, just because it gave me something to do. I noticed a lot of people, when you go to college, you kind of just sit and you study all the time. Whereas like with band, you actually have you can leave and you can exercise and meet friends and socialize, which I wouldn't have had that if I didn't join. And I know, I don't know about other schools, but I know for basketball we travel too, depending on the games. And we travel for football. It's just fun. It keeps you active. You meet people.
Yeah, our pep band does men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball, gymnastics, and that's it. So you're not just getting, just men's basketball, which is incredible, and you get to play Big Blue Madness, and which people camp out for that 72 hours before you walk by Memorial Coliseum, which isn't Rupp Arena, Memorial Coliseum, and they camp out 72 hours before to get tickets, and then they go to Rupp Arena, and it's a practice. Like, the coach comes out and gives a speech, and they practice each other, and people camped out for 72 hours. So, that's just, but you have to do marching band too, do pep band at UK because of that reason. And so marching band's a 3 credit hour class and pep band's a 1 credit hour class. So, you're getting you have to be 12 credit hours to be full time. So, you have 4 right there. And then you on top of your, other classes. And it's the fun class.
And how about at KSU? What are some cool perspective things from that particular environment? Because y'all's football games, y'all decimate other teams, but y'all are also still working to create that culture too on your campus, because football's still pretty new, kind of like up at Reinhardt and some of the other smaller schools in the state. Meanwhile, y'all are just about as big as enrollment as UGA. What's that atmosphere? What's that like? My Kennesaw folks.
So I've noticed a lot of people from other schools have kind of mentioned a lot of the same things that I can think of for KSU, where you are like the picture of school spirit. We have a ton of different chants, but it's a great time to, you're definitely getting to meet new people, but we are the largest student organization on campus, and we are the 3rd largest university in the state. So you're definitely making an impact. We've been invited to a lot of different places to perform. This past semester, we went and performed at the Cobb Galleria. I still don't really know what the event was, but everyone was wearing ball gowns and tuxedos. So it was pretty important, I guess.
Thank you.
We'll see how it goes. But so we're definitely still working on growing, because we are about to go in our 6th year. But our football team, we are estimated to win about every game by about 50 points. So you're going to win, which is nice. You get to play your fight song a lot. But it's also it's really exciting. For us, the band, we sit in the end zone, so you're seeing all of the action and you're watching everything happen right in front of you. You might catch a football, or if you're like me, you cower at a football because I can't catch because I don't do sports. But yeah, are any of us in basketball band? I'm not. Jimmy is.
Yeah, I'm in basketball band. Similar to, I can't remember who said it, I think it was Lizzy. We get paid $25 for games, and then $30 for some games if they're I don't know, some extra games. But we play men's and women's basketball games, sometimes both in the same day, and you're there for 7 hours, which is fun. But yeah, it's super fun. It's a pretty different experience than marching band, because obviously you're not marching. So we play a lot of music that's, I would say, harder and maybe more enjoyable than some of the stand tunes that we play normally. So you get that extra musical fulfillment out of that. Also, if you like basketball, it's basketball. So it's also super different than high school basketball band. I don't know if you guys still do that. We are the team's favorite people. The coach gives us a shout out and a speech at the end of every game, because we bring so much more environment than anyone else. Usually we are the largest amount of people in the stadium, which is super cool. It's really cool that we can provide that environment for the team and environment for the people coming to see the games.
How about the Georgia Tech people? Because y'all's, the the focus of Georgia Tech is very not singularly focused, but it definitely has a very firm direction in science and technology. And so band there is very similar in some ways, but different in some other ways. Do y'all mind sharing a little bit about what that perspective is at Georgia Tech? Just kind of the character of the ensemble, the approach, kind of what it does for you there at Tech. I imagine it's probably a stress reliever for a little bit too after all those crazy classes.
I mean, so compared to high school, I feel it's a lot more relaxed because in high school you sort of had sort of like competitions and stuff, which everybody was sort of, you had to be ready for the competitions, like everything had to be perfect. But then in college, everybody on the field is kind of chill. Like they just want to be out there, like hanging out with their friends is really what the goal is at Tech, which is a lot different than high school. I find it's a lot more relaxing to just sort of be able to hang out with people and not really focus so much because everybody there is pretty good at marching and playing already, or they know their way around. So it's not like anybody's trying super hard. It's just a time to hang out with people. And then as for, I know you guys are talking about basketball, like pep bands and stuff. So the way it works at Tech is the first semester, so the fall semester, they partition the marching band into like different chunks, and then each chunk cycles out doing pep bands and stuff. So you have to if you're in marching band the first semester, but you can get people to sub for you if you can. Everything is super relaxed. Like if you can't make a game or something, or not a game, if you can't make sort of a pep thing, you have somebody sub for you, stuff like that. And then second semester you can sign up for pep band as a class, I believe. I'm not sure, I didn't do that, but
Yeah, I did a pep band in my second semester at Tech, and then you play for the basketball games, and yeah, it's definitely a lot different experience. It's a lot less of a time commitment because like the basketball season doesn't go like the whole way through the spring semester. So like I mean like we ended around like March, and yeah, as Kira was saying, Georgia Tech is definitely band is really relaxed. Like we don't have a music major, but like we have a music and technology major, but like you can't like major in playing like your instrument. So like our music program like isn't like as big, I would say, but yeah, definitely relax. Yeah, I really like it. And we hadn't like touched on this either, but with auditions, like saying like at Georgia Tech, you audition like at band camp, but you're like basically like you're guaranteed a spot.
audition.
Yeah, you audition. They just want to make sure you can like play your instrument and you didn't sign up to just like go to the games for free. But yeah, you basically like guaranteed a spot. So that's very relaxed too. I don't know if like other schools want to talk about their audition process.
I can talk about our audition process because I went through it last year. So we did it's an online audition process. You record yourself playing the fight song, and like I think it's a technical / lyrical piece of your choice, has to be under like 2 minutes. And so you record yourself doing that. I heard it's mostly a formality though, just to make sure you can play. But I recorded it, sent it in, and then they sent me an email saying, hey, congratulations, you're in the band. Here's the packet of stuff that you need to bring for band camp. This is when all the packet stuff is due. So it's awesome. And then band camp, I think we forgot to touch on that too. But band camp, I know for freshmen, we came like with or a couple days earlier than like all the other marchers, because we had a lot of stuff to learn, like high march, like high step, high march, and all of like pregame, just so we know it, because we auditioned for pregame. And so we did that during our band camp, and we also made a lot of friends in our graduating class. So yeah.
I'll speak for UGA. For auditions, they changed it because of Corona, but what it was this like coming year is, I believe you still have to do like your band director has to submit like a recommendation for you. Did you have to do that, Mr. Long?
Oh, I am unmuted. I believe so. I know I submit stuff for UJ summer music camps for stuff, and
Okay.
it would make sense since it's still part of the process
Yes.
that they would want. And that's, again, like a lot of y'all have said, you want to dissuade people who want to sign up for a free ticket, because they're going to cause problems in the stands because they're not going to do what they're supposed to do. And they do want a lot of folks, and some of the larger bands, there just does have to be a cap, just simply for the money side of things. And I'm sure you'll get to that a little bit too.
Yes.
But that's a big reason why there'll be an audition or something. It's not really, it also helps them with on parts or whatever. But everybody has their piece of the puzzle because there's so much going on.
So you have the recommendation, and then you would record 2 videos of you playing, one of a lyrical piece or etude, and then a technical piece or etude. And then new this year, they had to do marching video. So you had to like do some marching stuff. And you emailed that in, and then later you get a thing saying you made it, or you get a thing saying like you're on the wait list, because there is a cap and our sections are pretty big. So if you make it and then you go to band camp, well, let me say, if you make it, if you are a music major or a music minor, they automatically let you in. You just have to say you want to do it. And then everyone else has to submit an actual application, recording, and all that. So if you make it and you go to band camp's about like 4 or 5 days. If you're a new marcher, then you come like a day before the returning marchers come, and you kind of have a day to like go through the traditions of the band and like meet your leadership and like meet each other. And you like eat lunch and you play a little bit, and then the rest of band camp is basically split up. It starts around like 10 or 11 in the morning, and we're inside and we learn our show 1 music and some stands tunes, and then after that, we have a break for dinner, and then we go outside from around like 6 to 10. We're outside learning pregame and the new marching technique. Once you get to band camp and you start doing that, there's 2 like other auditions within band camp. It won't kick you out. They're just to place everyone. So we have kind of like a marching audition after you learn how like redcoats march, which is really easy. Then you would go by that and you would do it, and then if they would rank you, and we have these things called shared spots since there's so many people. Some people can't make it to every game. If you're a shared spot, you march pregame or halftime like half of the time, and then your other spot will march the other half. But if someone is missing, you will march the missing person spot, which sometimes you have to learn the day of the game, so that's bad. But that's why we do the second audition. And overall, band camp's a little, it's like, it feels longer, but it's not as long as high school, and that's kind of funny. But that's about UGA's stuff.
KSU's audition process, it's pretty similar to the other schools. You just play a few simple pieces, but of course, because of Corona this year, all they're having you do is just submit a video of the fight song on YouTube and send it in to them. But I don't believe there's any marching audition or anything. Just music, just seeing if you can play, and for parts.
SDSU, they don't audition. You just kind of ask to join. And I know a lot of California schools are like that. You just kind of say, I want to do it, and you don't have to audition for it.
We like kind of show up at band camp, and you play the first day, you kind of play a couple songs, and then it's really, again, just a formality to make sure you know how to play. When you come back your second year, you're supposed to re-audition if you didn't do our concert band, which is the non-audition group for the spring. It's really just an effort to get more people in our concert band, because we're a smaller school of music, and we're trying to grow it and get more people involved.
Yeah, UK, you just ask to join and you show up at band camp and they put you in, and freshmen come in a day before and just have a day, and then everybody, all the returners come in that next day, And band camp is 8 to 9. And for pep band auditions, you audition with music from show 1. So it'll be one of the songs that you have to play for the shows. And then they'll assign you to either a C, A, T, S, or blue white band. And blue white is the special band, and they get to go to like Keeneland, which is a horse race track, and play special events, and you get paid extra for that.
Last year before Corona, our audition process was you actually had to go in person and you had to play like a technical piece and a lyrical piece. So most people just played the fight song and the alma mater. And then they got back to you, you got in or not. You didn't have to do anything extra. But this year, because it was an online process, you had to do fight song, alma mater, and you did have to record yourself marching, which was really awkward. But other than that, it was the same. And then later on, like a month from now, I think, I'm going to have to record myself playing part of the show once we get it. And that's how they'll do part assignments. But it's pretty easy to get in other than that.
All right, I'm going to open it up to questions from our high school friends who are joining us. Is there any questions you have? Just speak up.
Yeah.
Nothing is too stupid to ask.
Yeah, I have one. So band camp, since it's a little bit early before like the classes actually start, do you have to move into your dorm early, or do you go in the same time as everyone else?
At KSU, you get to move in a week early because you will have practice during the normal move-in day. So that's nice because the elevator won't be clogged up. So you can basically move in really nicely.
That's how it is at UGA too. When I did it, I got to move in a day before like move-in started, which was about a week, like the week before school. So that was nice.
Yeah, no, at South Carolina, we moved in early as well with sorority and fraternity. And so we got to move in about the same day, same time, because we had to live somewhere if we were on campus. But because upperclassmen usually live off campus, they didn't have to move in until later, depending on when like they move in for apartments or if they're on campus. So
yeah, San Diego did that too, except our band camp was 2 weeks, so you got to move in 2 weeks early.
I got to move in like a week before everybody else did. Like I got there on like the Saturday, and I don't think my roommates got there until Thursday or Friday after that. But unfortunately, I did have to pay for it because the actual early move-in date for other students didn't start until like Tuesday. And because I was there so early, they gave us a discount for early move-in, but I still did have to pay like an extra $100 for being there early.
Yeah, we moved in just about a week early, and it was really nice not having a roommate for a couple days. And then you get a shock, and then everyone moves in, and you get to start real college.
Any other questions?
Okay, I'll go. So this is random. Hi guys, I'm Sarah. I'm a rising senior. I'm in color guard. Just to introduce myself. So, and I don't know how you can answer this question because none of you guys are in guard. But what is the guard life in college?
I can tell you about our guard.
Okay.
I have to know a lot about everything, so here we go. So our color guard, your audition process is going to be a little bit different than for WINS. They have their, Corona obviously messed everything up, but usually their auditions are going to be in March or April, and it's going to be it's either 1 or 2 day audition, but like half days. But so they'll teach you a routine, and and it's all on flag. You learn the routine, you perform the routine. Also, pro tip, definitely come dressed. So they say dress in all black, but also come with like makeup because appearance and all of that. But anyways, so you'll audition for flag, and then during our band camp, you'll audition for rifle if you want to do rifle, or sometimes we have saber, we don't always have saber. So that's kind of the audition process. And then during the actual season, you'll still have the same practices as the band, the 5 to 7 Tuesdays and Thursdays. Color Guard also has an additional hour practice on Tuesdays after, so that's 7 to 8. So it is definitely, it's going to be a lot of high pace, but you're going to learn, like, so we do a show for every game, but you're going to learn probably a show ahead of time because you have a lot of like choreography and tosses and catches and things to work on. But so for our Color Guard, the fees are the same, but you're getting all the same material. You also have a really sparkly uniform. It's really cute. And then they also do like cheers in the stands, dances, but it is going to be mostly flag and rifle, if that kind of answers your question.
It does.
Okay, I have some about UGA's Color Guard. I can't tell you much about the audition process, but it is all online. At least last year it was all videos, and normally you'd go for like 2 days and you would learn a routine and do it and some other things. But moving on from auditions, during the season, the auxiliary, because we have Color Guard, majorettes, and a dance team, they meet an extra day for practice on Mondays from 5:30 to 7:30, and then they go to the regular practices. But its cost is a lot more than the $100 to do it if you're a marcher, because for flag line they get like different flags, and they have a couple different uniforms that they wear. There's a parade uniform, and then their standard like uniform, and then they have some specialty ones sometimes that they wear. And then there's also more merch that they get. So they get like sweatpants, a couple of different tank tops, and different others wear. And so it is more expensive, but they do a lot of fundraisers throughout the season to help pay off that. I don't know much more, but that's what I know. So
yeah, I only know a little bit about South Carolina's, not a whole lot. But what we have are like our Color Guard, and then we have the Coquettes, which is the dance team. And then we also have our twirlers, who are super amazing, by the way. Not to brag, no. But our flag team, they work really hard. They have a different a different audition process. So I don't really know how it goes because I had to do the marching band one. So we of course have our website that lists off what you need to do for the audition. I think it was an in-person audition last year, but with coronavirus, I don't know how they're doing it differently because we still don't know a whole lot about when we're starting, for that matter. So you just gotta look up where you're going and what they do need for the audition. But our flag team does get cute outfits. Like we also get sparkles as well. And like we do also have like, I think we had 2 guys last year, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah, depending on where you go, just make sure you like look up and stuff. And like Kara said, if you need, or if you audition in person, make sure makeup and stuff. Always what you need. Like, that's about all I got.
Thanks.
You
yeah,
should
Sarah,
be able to
another
find it
thing.
like on the website.
Okay, I also have a follow-up question. And this kind of applies to out-of-state students because I'm trying to leave, but I guess it can apply to in-state students. So, and the thing is, because I know a lot of schools in the school I'm looking into for their application, their guard application process, it's like you have to go and apply. Did you get your acceptance letter to the university first and then you applied, or was it apply, let you, like, let me know, like, I'm interested in doing this, but I'm not even accepted yet?
So something that South Carolina does, which I do like, you will get your acceptance first before you get told, hey, you're in the band, because your acceptance will usually, I think I got my acceptance letter during like fall semester, but then I didn't know if I got into the band or not until like April. And of course, it depends on when you register, or when you apply, not register, apply. But I think that's how South Carolina does it. Make sure you're in the college before you're in the band. And oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. No, I was doing so good. But they make sure you're in first before you go through all of the audition process. And I think I got into the band before I even said, hey, I'm accepting that I'm in South Carolina. So, oh, that was
Sorry.
weird. And so, oh goodness. My mind's just going everywhere.
I do know is from the band director standpoint, Sarah, it would be a good idea to go ahead and look at the schools that you're thinking of applying to and see what those requirements might be. And because you're going to want to be practicing those things beforehand anyway, or make sure you know those things. And you can reach out to those schools of music, because again, you think about it, it's like the opposite of high school, right? Like you know you're going to go to the school. They need to be trying to get you at least a little bit, right? And so letting them know, well, now you'll start getting some mail and some correspondence and some heads up and some things like that from their school of music or the athletic band director or the color guard person. And so that kind of starts that chain of communication. I would encourage you to reach out even beforehand. Like if you're thinking about it, because that might be a deal breaker. Maybe you're like, that's school, right? Once you find out, or it may be like, this is my school, like, and you're done. Like, you know, that's the one you want to go to from that simple one little angle. So what about the other schools as far as that applying, acceptance, and then the band part of it?
So definitely find the director's email. It's gonna be on their website. You're gonna feel like you're annoying them. Send them as many emails as you want. I promise you they're not gonna be annoyed. I've been emailing my director all summer trying to figure out what's going on. That's the best way to find information. College professors love when you email them and ask questions, even if you're not in their class yet. So
Yeah, they're usually pretty, like, they want to help. If you want to go there, they want you to. So at least with us, it's easy to find the information. And you can't, it's not like you can email them, but you can't register or sign up for anything unless you're in the school. So if you want to just prepare early, it's good to ask.
So the way UK worked, I didn't know I was going to go to UK till kind of late. I decided UK was the last school I applied to. So yeah, so I accepted UK, and then I went to orientation, and they had a little booth set up for the band, and you could go. They had you could go if you were pre-med, you went to this room and they tell you about the pre-med program, and they had one for the marching band. And I showed up and they said, hey, yeah, you should be in the band. And so they said, all you have to do is just register for the class and you're in. And when I toured UK, I emailed the tour guide people, and I was like, hey, would it be possible for, to show me the School of Music, or, show me where the marching band, practices or wherever. And they put me in contact with the band director, and he said, I can meet with you tomorrow when you're up here. So, it all just kind of worked out, because I knew I had to be in marching band when I went to college. That's something I knew I had to do. So he met with me. He was very nice about it. He said, please be in this band. We want you. So but I knew I was going to go to UK before I 100% committed to the marching band, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I know you said in-state, but for KSU, so I don't know if it's a little bit different, but our application is actually on our website called Owl Express, and you get access to that as soon as you submit your application. So the application isn't due to go to if you were trying to come in fall of 2020, the application was due June 1st. It's due June 1st every year for the next fall. So technically, you have access to the application before you've been accepted. But marching band application opens on June 1st in that Owl Express, and it's literally filling out your name, your information. So you just have to have applied to Kennesaw State to apply for the marching band. But definitely try to email a band director or a color guard instructor or anyone like that, all of our staff information have like emails and everything on our webpage. But I know our band director loves to give out like t-shirts and everything to prospective students whenever they're coming on tours, but not a lot of people will email and try to get in touch with them. But so if you can't find like a band director or somebody like that, definitely email admissions because they know everybody.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, I wonder, is there a way at each of your respective schools, at least just one person from each campus? We have some college links on our website for our high school students. Like I think we have a link to Kennesaw and Reinhardt and UGA's Redcoats and a couple places, and maybe even Georgia Tech, Georgia State. Could y'all possibly email me a link to your school of music or the athletic band website? Especially, like, I know we don't have one for Kentucky, but that's not super far away. We don't have one for App State. At least that's a place, you know, if a kid's looking at going to college, right? They know an Etowah person has gone there, so it's a safe place to go. Maybe that person's still there, and that way they could use that as a resource. I'm just trying to build that anyway, and that'd be a really quick way to grab those. And if you don't remember my email address, it's Stephen with a ph.long@CherokeeK12.net. So a little bit different than when y'all were in high school. They updated our email addresses finally.
.net.
.net. We're a network now. Not a social network, but a network.
Right.
Now, these are great questions and great responses too.
Anybody else have a good question?
Yeah, I have one more. So, like, let's say, like, you get into the marching band your freshman year, like, no matter what school it is, does that automatically get you into the band the next year, like your sophomore year, or do you have to keep re-auditioning?
Yes. I mean, I know for South Carolina it does. As long as you're like in the band, you can, I think they did like in like an interest form saying like, hey, I want to still be part of the band, or I'm planning on doing it next year. So we did that, and that's why I got like in my email the form to fill out before July 12th, because that's the same form everyone gets. But I didn't have to re-audition this year, which is super awesome and takes a load off my plate. But I know I don't know how, or I know, listen to me, I don't know how it is for different schools, so.
It does if you're a music major over here, but for marching band, since there's no audition, you literally just add the class every year. But you get an automatic approval instead of having to wait.
At KSU, you do have to audition every year, but your audition is more for chair placement. So you could get better and move up. That's what I did. I was second part last year, and this year I moved up like 10 slots. So definitely, yes, you do still have to audition, but still just kind of for chair placements.
For UGA, after you audition your freshman year, if you do the whole season, and then spring semester, you come back and you have to take like a concert band or like a jazz band to like keep your membership, I guess you can call it. And then you also have to attend the spring game, which is called G-Day. And then after you do those two things, then you're good and you just say, I'm coming back. But if you don't do those things, either one of them, then you have to re-audition, and it's like harder to get back in if you don't like maintain the membership.
Something similar to UGA. If you have to audition for your first year, and then if you do spring concert band, then you automatically get back in. If you don't, then you do have to re-audition.
At the end of the season, UK will send out a Google form saying, are you coming back? Yes or no? And that's it. Then you're in. Once you're in, you're in.
We've been like between interim directors and hiring new directors. So we've been changing just about every year. So there's not a good answer for Appalachian. Yeah.
What about Georgia Tech?
Yeah, so at Georgia Tech, I mean, it's kind of similar to the other schools where we like will send out an interest form at the end of like the spring semester on whether or not you're coming back, and then you do have to re-audition at the beginning of band camp, but it's not to see if you get in; it's just for like placements. So yeah, it's like a pretty chill process.
You got to remember with college marching band, everybody has marched before. Everybody has played an instrument for probably a while, so you're not having to meet. You know, you think about the middle schooler coming up's never marched before, so you got to teach all that fresh. And you know, everybody else is at 1 year of doing it, 2 years and 3 years. You know, everybody's got 4 years of doing it, and they're older too, and that allows you to be able to learn things faster. So that's why you see a lot of these auditions are more just for placement. The big thing is to keep, I would imagine, the rationale behind auditioning, making it into the marching band, requiring to keep the membership by doing a spring ensemble, is to make sure you're not just signing up for it for the football games. You know, maybe you can fake it for a semester, because then, you know, they might have trouble filling some of those ensembles in the springtime, which is really what the music program is about. So it kind of helps ensure that people are there for the long haul and not just for the short term. Are you here to be part of the music program, or are you just here for football? You know, and you can be there just for football, but it's gonna be a little tougher than those that are here for the whole thing, because you're putting in that sweat equity, right, of a full year of band versus a semester of band. That commitment level is there, and that's really what they're after. Because again, it's a school culture, right? You're not going to really know the school culture if you're in and out and in and out. You're in the whole time, so you really know what's going on. AD is taking us on a trip.
Another thing I want to add about the spring band at UGA is they open up 2 concert bands that are basically just so you can keep the requirement of being in a band in the spring. And they only meet once a week for like 2 hours, and they have 2 concerts. So as long as you do one of those, or you can do like the bands that we have year round, but that's like the one for like if you just need to fulfill the requirement. Any other questions?
This was super awesome, you guys.
Does anybody want to say anything about anything? College? Any questions about college? Okay.
Y'all did a really good job.
Marching college.
Yeah, y'all did a really good job with the presentation. I think y'all covered a ton of stuff in a short amount of time, and gave that really great perspective from the various universities. And you can also see some similarities, and you can see some little bits where it's been tweaked to that particular school, because each college is different, and that's why you have to pick one, because if they're all the same, it wouldn't matter where you went.
Yes, I will say, seniors, wherever you want to go, and if you have a couple of places that you want to go, definitely do your research. If you want to keep doing band, which you should, reach out to the band directors or the color guard directors. They're not going to be like, I can't believe so-and-so reached out to me. Like, I hate them. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like, this kid wants to be in here. And then that'll just make them want you even more. And it'll probably give you a leg up to like do it. And maybe sometimes they can write like a thing to the admissions board and be like, so-and-so needs to be in here, like things like that. So
you gotta think about it. Yeah, the colleges. Oh, sorry, Lizzie.
No, I was gonna say you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So definitely
Nice.
take all the shots that you have.
Yeah. I think about it though. Colleges have to bring the student in. So they have to recruit. They spend millions. Some of these schools spend millions of dollars. Some spend thousands, depending on their size, to recruit students. And you reached out to them, and you just saved them money. You just saved them time. And you just saved them effort by going, "Hey, I'm interested." So they're going to do everything they can to help you out and get you involved and get you at their campus, because that's also a student who's going to step up and be a good ambassador for the school itself also, just like all these smiling faces.
Your college definitely wants your money. So
yeah, very true.
An even better thing to do if you find yourself like wanting to go to a football game of one of the colleges that you're looking at, definitely if you can do it. But before you go, email the band director and say that you're a senior in high school and that you're going to whatever game on whatever day, and they might be able to be like, oh, we're practicing now, like just come to the field, like here's the address and meet me, and like I'll talk to you, and like you can meet some of the students. And that's just like the coolest thing. So I think, and they're not going to be like, no. Yeah. So just do it. I promise it'll be worth it.
Yeah, they're always trying to recruit you, always trying to get you in because they do want you. Like, they definitely have like a sense of, we definitely want you. Please come join our family. And also and I totally forgot to mention this, we have a spring game, or at least we did past years. We didn't this year because of coronavirus, but in past years we've had a spring game where usually it's like high school juniors and seniors come. You can experience a sort of football game because it's a practice game for South Carolina, and you can meet your section leaders and maybe other people in your section or in the band all around. Like, I know I made some friends through that game. I was like the only senior, I think, but I met the people that are going to be in my section, and that helped me like come in and feel more comfortable, especially being like 4 hours away.
Let me ask this question before y'all do wrap it up. Is everybody okay if I uploaded this to YouTube, or would you prefer me to keep it private and just send it out to our folks?
Put it on YouTube.
I don't mind.
Fine with either.
Yeah, I'm
Everybody
cool.
being public is okay.
Yeah,
I'm ready to
me.
be more famous, so go ahead and put it on YouTube.
Nice, awesome. Well, I want to say thank you to all of you for taking time, because you're on summer and you're in college. Like, you really don't have to do anything if you don't want to, other than maybe work because you're broke. Like, college broke is a different kind of broke.
Amen.
So I want to say thank you, and thank you for Lizy for setting it up. It was a great thing. It might be a great thing for us to do each year, maybe not in the middle of summer, maybe springtime or fall time while everybody's thinking about these types of things. Time of year maybe where y'all aren't super swamped with marching band stuff, and we aren't either. But it's a really great discussion, and there's a lot of great information that you guys gave out today for folks who may not have been here live, but are going to maybe watch this after, or maybe a parent who's like snooping in on like, what are they talking about, right? And they're like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And they can go poke and prod their kid who's like not even thinking about college. You know, mom and dad are, but you know, kid isn't yet. And it's like, you really should be thinking about this. Here's a great resource of other students, just kind of speaking, because that's really where you get real life. And I know Carol, working in admissions and like tours and stuff, you can see some folks will give a false sense of a university sometimes, and sometimes it is a reality for some students. But when you talk to students one-on-one like this, you're going to get a real picture of what sucks about a place and what's great about a place. And this conversation here today was 100% authentic, real life, real stories, real stuff. So thank you all so much.
Yeah, we can try to do this again.
No
Yeah.
problem. I have fun.
And Zoom is good because we're all in different places. So
yeah, it's like the Brady Bunch right now. Awesome. Was there anything else anybody's got? Lizy, anybody else? Final thoughts?
Continue doing band in college. You won't regret it. Just if you're on the fence, just try it the first year. Okay. Everyone that I've met that like did it their second year is like, I regret not doing it last year. Like 100%. Like, just try it. It's not like, just try your first year. If you don't like it, you don't have to keep doing it. No one's making you, but you really should try it. Yeah. That's the gist. And reach out to the band directors of the schools you're thinking of going to. You don't even have to be like, I'm definitely going here. Just if you think about it, just do it. Yeah. That's about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm going to hit the stop recording button here. And what I'll do is, if y'all just want to hang out for a minute, I've got to go. I have quite a to-do list today, and I have some more things to build around the house for baby long. But that way, if y'all want to just sit and chat for a few minutes, just as high school students and college students or whatever, because y'all probably don't get to see each other very often either, and have some stories to share. But thank y'all again for being here and doing it.